In our agenda, as I mentioned, we have a lot today. We have product roadmaps. We have lots of in-person events around the world. So definitely want to share those with you. We want to see you in person joining us. We have several demos and of course that live Q&A session at the end. I'm going to hand it over to Ben now.
Perfect. Thanks, Alex, and thanks everyone for joining today. So we can start to look at the next slide. My name is Ben. I'm Senior Director of Product Strategy. I'm going to show you, this is a very good story. I think Alex is going to put the link into the chat. It's recognizing Marriott International. You all know Marriott, the hotel brand. They are using Oracle HCM and also Oracle Analytics Cloud. Tyler Weeks has been speaking about Oracle Analytics multiple times at the Gartner Data and Analytics Summit, at Cloud World. It will continue, so you have to know they are part of our Oracle Analytics Leader program, and we are really happy to have them. So thanks to Marriott. On the next slide, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the data visualization inside Oracle Analytics. Product management is working on the data visualization types. And what you have to know is that inside Oracle Analytics Cloud, we have right now more than 50 different types of data visualization, from skinny donut to map, tree map, grid heat map, box plot, vertical bar, and more. You can use a lot of different ones, and we continue to listen to you on the ID Lab during our product strategy call. And we are requesting you to tell us which are the next data visualization type that you want. We are going to release the Gantt chart and enhance Sankey, the organizational chart. We are going also to provide, I think, the Gantt chart. So if you need any type of data visualization which is not available inside Oracle Analytics, then feel free to put that into the Q&A or in our ID Lab. Same thing, we are going to post the link in the chat. You will see where to find the ID Lab. In the next slide, I'm going also to speak about the new AI capabilities, and I'm going to share really quick my screen for that, Alex. It's going to take 1 second. So inside Oracle Analytics, you know that you can do some AI. So here it's the 50 different data visualization type. Here you can see an example of AI vision object where I can click on myself, for example, and it's going to recognize that I have a shoe, a suit, footwear, a man. If I click here, it's going to find an airplane. We have also integrated Oracle Analytics with AI vision image classification. So if you click, for example, on the brain MRI, automatically it's going to look at the specific tumor and try to tell you if it's a meningioma tumor or not using image classification and AI. More recently, we use also AI document understanding with Oracle Analytics. You can see that we ingested multiple passport with Farivar, passport with Alex, passport with Isa, with Philippe, with Gabi, and so on. And if I click, for example, on Jamie here, you can see that we extract automatically all the values from the passport. Oracle Analytics is recognizing that it's a passport, ingesting that into a data set, giving you access. And here I built a rule to see, for example, on the fly, if the passport is expired or not. But obviously, you could do more than that. Check the expiration, check the country of issuance, recognize if it's a fake or a true passport, and more. Finally, I'm going to move out of AI just to remind you 3 things. You can use REST API connection with Oracle Analytics Cloud. Here I can refresh. It's going to make some API call to look at the S&P 500 and tell you, for example, that we have NVIDIA, which is up 2%, or JP Morgan, which is down 1%, and so on and so on. You can also use Oracle Analytics with Mapbox to look at the census, for example, in California, in New York, in Texas. It's very reactive. You can see it's really, really fast in Oracle Analytics. You can do any type of data visualization using map, using country, states, and more. And finally, remember another thing to do. You can put a specific aerial picture or any image, draw polygon, attach the polygon to your specific dataset, and create some amazing data visualization like that one. So I'm going to stop to share. Alex, you can go back to the main presentation, please. Perfect, and we can move to the last slide, I believe. Okay, the Oracle Analytics roadmap, you have to know that this roadmap is available inside our community website. I'm going to put the link. We are updating this product roadmap every quarter, so it's coming soon. You can see that we release a lot of different features. I think last year between 100 and 200 features. We release the number formatting. You can now format in one click to show negative number in red. We have also Power BI connectivity. You can now schedule a workbook to be sent by email in PDF, but also as an image or a link. And in the future, we will have that as an Excel file. We have conditional annotation, conditional decoration, which is really cool. Now in a pivot table, you can put some icon. So if, for example, the profit is increasing by 10%, you can put a specific icon to show that it's going up or down in any case. We integrate more and more AI. You can see AI as a buzzword on LinkedIn, on internet, but it's not for Oracle or for different companies like us. You can see we integrated AI language, AI document, AI language PII detection, AutoML. We are going to have an AI, Gen AI copilot soon release. OCI AI face detection, which is upcoming this year. And in the future, OCI video AI, OCI document AI, and language AI for custom model. And then finally, an AI enhanced on-page and ask. So we are working a lot to release AI capabilities inside Oracle Analytics. Finally, few things, but I'm going to move really quick here. We are going to have a new version of Oracle Analytics Server. A lot of customers are using it. And finally, Microsoft Team integration and new connector like Delta Share, Dataflow, Google Analytics, OData 4. And we are going obviously to have new data visualization types and new filter types like checkbox and radio button. So thank you for joining. I will post the link, and Alex, you can take it from here.
Thanks, Ben. I think I got all the links in there. I'm gonna move over now to take a look at another product roadmap with Fari.
Sounds great. Thank you, Alex. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. This is Fari Javanbakti, and I'm a principal product manager with the product strategy team. And I'm going to go over the Fusion Data Intelligence Platform roadmap. So as you see, similar to the OAC roadmap, they have three sections here referring to the current capabilities released as of the latest version. We are also looking at the upcoming and future for the next releases this year. So on the ERP side, one of the most requested features that we're going to have in the next couple of releases is the Fusion Accounting Hub. We're also going to have the labor distribution and also the configurable account analysis support of semantic model extension. So I'm just going to name a few of these features as there are so many of them included in this roadmap. But on the future side for the ERP analytics, we're adding the risk management and compliance, as well as the cash management and procurement sourcing. For the HCM, we will have the payroll run results as a preview feature, so customers that have the HCM analytics will be able to enable that feature and start testing that out once it's available as a preview. We're also adding the org productivity as a part of the initiative that we have for enhancing our people leaders analytics. We will have the scheduling analytics, peer benchmark, grow analytics, as well as the benefits will be available in preview. For the future, we're looking at adding the inferred skills as well as the attrition prediction, which are two of our ML and AI capabilities in the product, as well as the configurable AOR. On the SCM side, we will have the draft sales order support, also the inventory on hand balances, and the data augmentation for OTM and WMS. Also, in the future, we're adding the SCM planning, as well as the sourcing and ESG analytics. Also moving to the CX, we have the Salesforce Analytics as a limited availability feature. So if you are a CX Analytics customer and you like to test that feature, please let us know, but it will soon be available as a GA feature. We're also working on the CPQ Analytics and CX Unity Analytics. Looking at the future for the CX Analytics, we will have the incentive comp analytics as well as the revenue forecasting, which is another ML capability on the CX Analytics side. Also looking at the platform, we're adding some SME enhancements. A couple highly asked features here are the bundles repository, and also on the future planning, we're adding the native UX integration with Fusion apps, which is again highly requested capability, as well as support of multiple languages per instance. So as Ben mentioned, this roadmap is also available in the links that Alex shared and in the community website. So feel free to take a look. Let us know if you have any questions. And with that, I'll pass it back to Alex.
Thanks, Fari. Again, I posted the link in the chat, and that will also be sent out tomorrow. So hi, everyone. I'm Alex, and let's take a look at some events we have coming up. So we have this really great one. This is a 2-day event hosted by the Oracle Database Product Management team. It is for Oracle customers that are using Oracle data management products. So it's a chance for you to meet with the PM team, with partners, to network with other customers. Really nice event. I think Ben went last year, and then Fari went to one that the team held in Nashville in the spring, I believe. So it's coming up. If you want to escape the cold, and I mean, who doesn't love Miami? I've got a QR code you can scan, see the agenda, register. I'll also pop the link to that in the chat as well as all the other events I'm about to show.
And
Gartner,
Alex, sorry to interrupt you. Just for the Miami event, so I will be present on site. We have few companies using Oracle Analytics joining. We have also some databases customer, and this event is for Oracle Analytics customers only. So if you register, you need to use Oracle Analytics. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. So we don't have this. We're just going to be attending. So the Gartner Data and Analytics Summit, huge event, huge conference. The Orlando one is coming up March 11th through 13th. The Oracle Analytics team is going to be there, so stop by the booth, say hi, chat with us. We also have some really great customers speaking at this event: Mayo Clinic, Moffitt Cancer Research, and Vanguard. So check the agenda. Definitely stop by and see them speak. They have some really great stories to share. The Oracle team will also be at the Gartner Data and Analytics Summit in London. That is May 13th through 15th. So again, stop by if you're going to be attending that. We'd love to see you. So some other big events we have coming up that Oracle is hosting. We have the OA Summit in Mumbai. That's February 13th. So if you are in Asia or going to be attending maybe the Oracle Cloud World Tour in Mumbai, that's February 14th. We are holding this event for Oracle Analytics customers the day before the Oracle Cloud World Tour. And this is really nice because we're trying to divide these events up around the world in different regions so we can chat, we can have conversations, really facilitate this community. And in India, we'll have the EVP of Oracle Analytics, TK Anand. And I will also, I have a poll for this one. So I don't have a link to share, but if you're using Oracle Analytics and you would like to attend this, let me see. I'm going to pop up a poll here. So if you'd like to attend this, you're going to be around, just let me know and I'll email you afterwards some information to join and get you there. So again, it's a really great opportunity. If you're going to join the Oracle Cloud World Tour in India the day before, we're going to have the OA Summit. It's going to be a really nice event. You can see we have the agenda listed there below. I'm going to leave this up for just 1 second so I can keep going here so we can make sure we have enough time for everyone. Oops. There we go. And Likewise, we're also holding this in London, the OA Summit in London. It's the day before the Oracle Cloud World Tour in London. That's on March 14th. The OA Summit is going to be March 13th in London. So I'm going to run another poll. If you are going to be in London or in the region at that time, let me know. I will send you some information on this. Again, there's no registration fees for this. You just have to cover your travel and hotel. So if you're going to be in the area, definitely let me know. If you're using Oracle Analytics, we'd love to have you come and meet the community, meet with the PMs, and discuss. So I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to leave this poll up. All right. There we go. Maybe. Okay, and I'm gonna hand it over to Dan, and he is going to share another event coming up that our user group is hosting.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate the opportunity. I'm Dan Valamis. I'm the president of Analytics and Data Oracle User Community, and I wanted to tell you about the event that we have coming up called Analytics and Data Summit 2024. Probably most excited. I'll show you what the schedule looks like. You can get that. I'll put the link on the in the chat. But I'm most excited to see the keynote session by Analytics own PM Gabby Rubin. A&D Summit is run by an independent Oracle user community called A&D OUC. It's probably best known for its in-depth technical sessions focusing on graph and spatial analytics, data, machine learning, including Gen AI. There are rooms for each one of these during the session, and you can check out the schedule. There's also going to be a hands-on lab taking place on, or several of them, and this is an example of one where you can be hands-on with the latest offerings from Oracle. Because it's a focused conference, you can easily network with others, and just like last year, we're going to have a room dedicated to one-to-one meetings and with an Oracle feedback session on day 3, where you can talk directly to Oracle product management. So be sure to add day 3 to your travel plans. By the way, there's an early discount, early bird discount ends on January 31st. So you should register soon. Also, for those that are in this session, we have a special discount code for you, Preview 24. You can get $25 off. And I hope to see you there. Check out the website at www.andouc.org/AND Summit 2024, and we'll hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. And I got that link posted in the chat. Again, it's going to be sent out with all the other links to the events tomorrow. You'll get an email with all of that. So let's move on to our demos now. So we have on-demand semantic enrichments with Luis, Director of Product Management.
Sure. Can I share real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay. So thank you, Alex, and thank you, everybody, for your time today. Today, I'm going to, let me see if hopefully my camera is on, Alex. Oh, no, it is. There we go. So today I'm going to give you a quick overview of a new feature. I think it's a cool feature that exposes semantic enrichments to workbook authors. And these semantic enrichments were traditionally available only to dataset authors. And now we're exposing them to workbook authors as well. And this feature just eliminates the need for the dataset author to guess which semantic enrichments the consumers of the dataset would be using. It works seamlessly with both custom and system knowledge. System knowledge being a large set of reference data that we include with all of the instances of OAC. Custom knowledge being something that's specific to the customer, where you can guide your users to specific curated data sets that they will use to enrich their visualizations in this case. And it can be turned on and off for particular data sets with a new flag in the inspector. And also there's a global flag in the console that you can use to control. So real quick, in terms of background, here's a data set authoring. This is the data set editor. Here's a very simple two-table data set. And as background, when data is ingested into the system, it does trigger several AI processes. Specifically for this feature, we kick off a deep semantic profile that you may be familiar with, sort of as we spin, that applies both natural language processing and machine learning. And it also leverages this knowledge graph that we have that has a linked set of domain knowledge of both the system and any custom knowledge that we've entered into the system. And it captures important information about the data, the patterns, the domains, the semantic types, the entities, the distribution of the data. And after the profiling is done, some of those metrics are displayed in easy to consume fashion, what we call the data quality insights that you see here. And we have a data quality bar, and we have the distribution of the data and so forth. But as if I go into customers, the semantic features are also stored as metadata, and they're used to recognize and automatically connect data sets to related entities and generate suggested enrichments of additional dimensions and measures that are based on those connections that were done during the profiling. So if I click on city, we see that we have some enrichments for city. And so this feature has been around for a while. And what it required is for the author to sort of guess and predict which of these enrichments for city and for zip code and for country and any custom enrichments that this data set may have available to it, and guess which of these enrichments the workbook authors, when they're creating the analysis, would need. And that would become a permanent column in the data set itself. And when users would go into the workbook, those enrichments would be available. But if the author didn't guess correctly, then those enrichments would not be available. The new feature is, I'm opening up a workbook here, is let's say that I don't accept any of those enrichments as the data set author. I'm here as a workbook author, and here's that data set. Here's my video game table, my customer table. What we do now is we expose all the enrichments, and I'll open up city. Similarly to we have traditionally exposed the date part extractions under dates. We now have a little toggle under all our semantic types, and underneath we have all of the enrichments. And these are, again, not part of the data set, not part of the original data set. They're just the links to additional data that we have automatically built for the user. And these are just suggestions, right? So they're not, you can just ignore them or use them. So let's say that I'm working with a data set, I have some sales information, and the only geographic information I have about the sales is zip code. I could build, data based on that zip code only. Or if I grab long and lat from zip code and pop it in category and bring sales over, and let's put it in size, I can build a map with the enrichments without even using the original field that belonged to that data set. Furthermore, let's say that I wanted to sort of drill into California. I don't have state in my data set. Let's pretend that I don't have state. But zip code has an enrichment called state. I can actually use that as a filter and filter to a particular state. And I've used now one of the enrichments to filter the data to a particular state. So we can use them as filters, you can use them as part of the visualization, and as very similar to any of the columns that are originally part of that data set, but they're just enrichments that come, links to additional data that is available to you. And we're guiding the user to enrich with particular data sets that have been curated. Another example is custom knowledge. So an example of custom knowledge is I have a marketing code. And let's say that as a user, I want to create sales by marketing code. So I'll start there. I'll bring over marketing code and I get sort of a granular analysis of sales by marketing code. But if I see the little toggle here, if I open it, I see that I have additional information. And this is, again, we're guiding the user to enrichments based on curated data sets that we have available to them. So all of the users will use the same link to program. And let's say I replace marketing code with program, and which is not part of the original data set, but now it's an enrichment linked to marketing code. And I get a much better analysis of my sales based on this enrichment. So that's pretty much it. Again, it works with both system and custom. You can turn it off at the inspector or control it globally in the system. So thank you so much for that. And I'll stop my sharing.
Thanks, Luis. And you had a blog. I'm just going to post that blog in the chat for everyone to access if they want to find out a little bit more information. All right. So let's move on for a demo on data flow improvements that you'll see in the January release, as well as OAC public APIs with Gabrielle.
Thanks, Alex. Let me just share my screen here. I have a quick presentation.
And while you're pulling that up, just a reminder, everyone, the PowerPoint that we're showing today, all the slides that will be made available on the community website in a PDF form if you want to go back and review those.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So my name's Gabrielle. I'm an analytics product manager, and in this presentation, I'm going to be going over some of the recent data flow improvements that we've made, and then I'll also touch on a few public APIs that we either recently released or will be releasing soon. So this slide touches on the data flow related features that were released in November, and then also the features that will come with the January 2024 update. To start, in November, we have list aggregation. So at a high level, what list aggregation is, it's essentially a feature that allows users to aggregate their data so that they're able to consolidate information about related entities into a new organized column. And in the next slide, I'll have an example of how list aggregation works with a real use case. So you can see exactly how your data structure changes after applying that function. And so list aggregation is available and you can invoke it through a data flow. We've also changed the way that data flows are executed in the back end. So essentially what happens now is that there's a new queue system in place that limits the concurrent data flow runs based on OCPU count. So this is primarily more of a performance related feature in the back end. However, there are several UI related changes that you might notice. One of them is some additional logging that we've included on the UI to assist with troubleshooting. And then we also now track data flow activity within OCI diagnostic logging. So if you have OCI diagnostic logging enabled for your OAC environment, and you can do so through the OCI console, you'll be able to see some data flow related queries and information in there. Kind of going along this feature as well, we have made some improvements to sequences. You can now include data sets in sequences to perform a reload upon sequence execution. And again, the sequences are also managed by that new queue system. So the goal being really to improve overall system performance. Moving on to the January release, we implemented a new feature related to unions in data flow. So previously, the only union option we supported was union by column position. And in the January release, you can union by column name as well. There are also a few data flow and sequence APIs that are available in January. They won't be documented until they're officially generally available. And for that, we're targeting March, but we are doing a private preview for some customers. So if you're interested in trying out these APIs, they are available in January. Just send me a message, and I'll give Alex my email to send out. So feel free to send me an email if you're interested in trying out these APIs. I can provide a YAML file that has kind of all the information for these particular APIs. So circling back to list aggregate, I wanted to provide you all with an example of how this feature works to kind of give you a little bit of context as to how it works. So as I said, list aggregate is a feature that allows you to summarize information in an organized list across certain groups or elements. So the screenshot on the left shows a data set where each row represents how a certain individual placed in a given race. And for this example, I'm using Formula One related data. So if I wanted to change the granularity of this data set so that each row represents one particular race, and I wanted to create a new column with, let's say, a list of the top 3 winners for that race, the list aggregation feature would essentially allow me to do that. So this again can be invoked through a data flow. And it essentially allows you to change the aggregation of your data set while also creating a new column with an organized list of text. So this is where you can find list aggregate in the data flow. You can find it within the aggregate step. So if you click on the drop-down list of functions, you'll see it appear. It's called list aggregate. And then we also have a number of predefined delimiters that you can choose from, which essentially dictates how that structured list of text kind of looks. So in this example, I've used a comma as my predefined delimiter, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a comma separated list. We also offer other delimiters as well. So whenever a new data flow feature is released, I do typically blog about it. So I have published this blog that explains the list aggregation feature in a little bit more detail through a Formula One related use case. If you are interested, I do have a number of other blogs up on the Oracle Analytics blogging platform, mainly related to data flows, but I try to kind of vary the theme or topic that I'm using. So I've done some using fitness related data. This one just happens to be Formula One related data. So if you are interested in reading a little bit more about how to leverage data flows through some interesting use cases, definitely check out the blogging platform there. I also mentioned earlier that we now support union by column name along with union by column position. So when you union by column position, you need to make sure that the columns that you want to union among the union inputs are in corresponding positions. So we introduced union by column name to kind of alleviate the need to go in and reorder the columns to make sure that they're in the proper position. So that's kind of where union by column name comes in. So the columns will be, if you have that option selected, the columns will be unioned associated or with the corresponding names, but it is case sensitive, just keep in mind. And then if you have columns that are unmapped, so let's say input number 1 has 4 columns and input number 2 has 5, that one column that doesn't have a map will be dropped. So then moving on. Here we have, this slide covers the public APIs that are being worked on or are currently available. There are quite a few, but I want to call out just a few particular ones. As I mentioned, we recently introduced with the January release the ability to execute data flows and sequences. So these endpoints won't be documented until they're officially generally available, which we are targeting March for that. So as I mentioned before, if you want to participate in the preview, please let me know. And so those endpoints are essentially just providing the ability to execute a data flow or a sequence. It's essentially equivalent to going in on the UI and clicking run. We're also working on some endpoints to retrieve run history for data flows, sequences, and data sets, but these are not yet available. So I expect that they'll be available within the next few months. And there are also some catalog APIs that are in preview, I believe, as of November. Some of the things you can do with these catalog APIs are copy certain catalog items, retrieve access control lists, move the catalog items, etc. So these are quite extensive, and they are available as of November. So lastly, I wanted to run through just a few scenarios in which these APIs might be useful. The catalog APIs essentially provide a similar functionality to what you can currently do through the search function on the Oracle Analytics homepage. You can use the APIs to retrieve certain objects. As I mentioned, you can modify access control lists. And some examples of these artifacts or objects that I'm referring to are things like data sets, data flows, workbooks, and there is a more extensive list of artifacts that will be documented that you could use with the catalog APIs. So if you're using these catalog APIs to, let's say, search for a data flow or a sequence, you can then use the execution APIs, the data flow or sequence execution APIs to essentially run these artifacts. So I would say overall, there are a lot of options to automate your entire search process, as well as your execution process with these APIs. And it kind of speaks to the developer-centric, kind of goal of these APIs as well. So that is all I have for today, but I'm happy to answer any questions in the chat, and definitely feel free to send me an email if you're interested in participating in the REST API preview that I mentioned.
Thanks, Gabrielle. I put her email as well as the link to all her blog posts in the chat. So take a look at those. Feel free to email her if you're interested. Let's move on to conditional declaration with Jacques.
Hello, sorry about that. I had several mutes on. So let me share my screen real quick. So conditional formatting over the last couple of years has been slowly evolving to support different, I need to share my screen. There we go. Sorry about that. Share my screen. Can you all see my screen here?
Yes, looks good.
Okay, great. So conditional formatting over the last couple of years has evolved slowly to add things like annotations, legends, tooltips, and things of this sort. The latest thing that we've done in terms of enriching conditional formatting is introducing the ability to iconize, if you will, the conditional format. We're calling that decorations. So let me show you how that works a little bit. So let me open up my workbook here. I'm just going to go to, eventually conditional decorations will work on all visualizations. In the first release, which is now, we have started with tables and pivots. In the next iteration, it'll be terets and performance tiles. And then over the next several releases, we'll slowly introduce it in all the visualizations. So let me show you how you create one of these things. So here I've got a pretty simple table here where I've got sales colored red, yellow, green, nothing terribly exciting. And what I'll do is I'll create a new rule that will illustrate this in a more sort of engaging way using icons and, show you the various options. So I'm going to create a brand new rule, and I'm going to go ahead and create the rule here, my new rule, my decoration rule. and I want to decorate my sails. So I'm going to go ahead and pick sails, and we'll do something super simple here. I want to highlight sails that are above 1,000, and then what I'd like to do is, rather than color, let me just move this to the side so you can see things in real time. Rather than color this as, you know, simple red, yellow, green, what I'd like to do is actually display, rather than display a color here, I'd rather display an icon, right? So I'd like to show, you know, thumbs up, or I'll go ahead and use thumbs up, why not? So I'd like to sort of, whenever things are above $1,000, I'd like to color this thumbs up, and I'd like to make it a green thumbs up. So we've got sort of a whole slew of, these are Unicode characters, so you can select the character and also enrich it with color. So that makes it a little bit more engaging. We also can use just standard emojis. So here we've got a long list of, you know, the standard emojis that you would expect. So these are all sort of web standards, so they'll display appropriately on a Mac versus an iPhone versus a Windows box. I personally prefer just our Unicode characters here, or icons, because you can combine the color and the actual character as well. So I'm going to go ahead and color that green. I'd like to create another one, and again, I'm not going to color the background of the cell. I'm just going to do that one as a sort of a mediocre yellow thumbs down, and I think you get the hint for how this is going to work. And then the last one, I'm going to create this last one as a just for fun, or angry frown that's red. I'm going to go ahead and save that. So now let me turn off, or I had two rules. I've got my sample sales rule, which is the one that colors the background. But now you see that I just turned on, just to clarify what I just did. So now I turned on my decoration rule on this table. And so we can see that in line with my sales, I've got a little thumbs up, a little. Now this is kind of hard to read. So we have some varying options that you can go in here. We can do things like, right now, the size of the icon matches the size of the font. So as you can imagine, there's some pretty straightforward reasons why we would do that, but you can also customize the size of the icon. Let me go ahead and flip it back to what it was. I can show the icon before the actual value, the icon after the value, or just the icon itself, which is personally my favorite. And so there I could do something like that. So really simple feature. But, you know, again, think of it in the context. Once we introduce this in the context of performance styles, you'll be able to see green trending up, or red, you know, trending up, like expenses. That's not a good thing. So we'll start introducing sort of these characters and these icons that effectively, just at a glance, give you more than the information that just a simple number would do. I know I haven't even looked at the questions, but I know somebody's probably asking if you can upload your own icons, and that is coming. It's just not part of the initial scope. There are some practical reasons in terms of why that's going to take a little longer. Things like we want to make sure that we can validate that the icons will display properly, and that you don't upload this massive sort of wonky icon that won't stretch and things like that. But that's it. That's conditional decorations in a nutshell. Hopefully you find it useful.
Thanks, Jacques. I'm gonna switch my screen here real quick, everyone. Okay, I'm going to post a link if you want to find this event, past events, upcoming virtual events from the analytics community. I'm going to post a link for that. Let me introduce our next analytics folks here. We have Raghavendra and Gunvanesh here with us today. Welcome. Thank you. for joining.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks,
Uh,
Alex. Raghu, if you
yeah.
want to share your screen, I will share the roadmap and then we'll have you demo.
Sure, yeah. Alex, can I share?
Yes, absolutely. I will stop sharing to make that a little easier
Thank you.
as we're
All right,
doing.
while Raghu is doing that, let me just introduce, we are both HCM PMs or People Analytics PMs. We are in the business of democratizing people data. That means we recognize that the right hands are needed for this data, and this extends beyond our senior leaders. We believe that every individual with talent management responsibilities, from a top level exec to a frontline manager, should have access to reliable people analytics, which should be packaged in a securely provisioned way to protect employee privacy while giving managers the insights that they need. By achieving this in your organizations, you can achieve a data-driven culture and help your teams truly harness the power of data. It's about time we all prioritized people analytics that translates into business outcomes. So that was my spiel, just to get everybody acclimatized to what people analytics is, because the more we say this out aloud, the more people understand. Raghu is right now sharing the Oracle Fusion Cloud Application Suite roadmap for HCM Analytics. Raghu's gonna demo today the health and safety module, which was released in 23 R3. Outside of that, we are doing a ton of work, which kind of spans from HR help desk to talent profile to inferred skills. Primarily, what we're trying to do is enable these people managers, not just the senior execs, to build insights on people data and take important people decisions, because the operational cost of running an organization sometimes spans from 70 to 80% for any organization. So people are your real asset, and we are in the business of making you realize that people are your real assets. Beyond that, there are a bunch of enhancements, etc., which are upcoming. We're also doing a bunch of work in the advanced analytics space. So you will see me or Raghu talking about either inferred skills in one of the upcoming OA lives, or about employee attrition, or what we now brand as employee flight risk prediction analysis. We're also doing some work in the grow analytics space, which I've heard a lot of customers are interested in. Beyond that, there is work coming up in payroll costing, in journey, and goal plans. This is the roadmap, which is available to you, and I think Alex will share the link of it. With that, I'll pass it to Raghu to show you the real deal. Up to you. Over to you, Raghu.
Thank you, Gunvansh. Hello, everyone. So the topic for the day is health and safety analytics. I would like to start with this question, why health and safety analytics? The most basic question, this is one of the most basic questions that anybody would ask me, why should I invest in health and safety analytics? I'll start with this. My answer to this would be the success of an organization depends upon your employees, and how well you keep your employees, how happy you keep them, intact you keep them, leads to a successful organization. That's the motto that most companies follow. Happy people, productive people leads to success. Success of the organization. So in this, the health and safety plays a crucial role in all our workplaces. And just to give you an example, probably this could be one of the most basic questions again you could have on what do you mean by health and safety in a workplace. It could be as simple as we all live probably in an IT world, or maybe in a manufacturing place, multiple places where we could be going for work on a daily basis. Probably it could be as simple as the spill of the water being spilled on the floor near the pantry area or near the bathroom, or it could be like a fire or an explosion. It could be anything, a water spilled on the floor could cause an employee to slip and hurt something, or it could be a fire or explosion which could be a lot more gory and could cause more agony to the employees and also the organizations. So these are some of the examples of incidents, health and safety incident that happens in an organization. And now what analytics does is helps you understand your own data, how your incidents have occurred in the past, looking at the data that you have in the organization so far, and how you can improve your, how you can mitigate those risks. I mean, by not happening in future, like, and how you can prevent them from not happening in future, or how you can help them resolve it faster than before. So there are many such reasons why we need to have analytics around health and safety. But what we have done here is, we have just highlighted a few of them, few sample ones which are of high importance. So the first of those could be the risk identification and prevention. So what do I mean by that? So looking at your data from the past, historical data, retrospective data, or even, if you have data coming from other sources, you can always skim through the data to understand, like, and what are the reasons why this incident happened, or what kind of employees were a part of this incident. Was it lack of training, or was it an unsafe equipment, or it could be various other reasons? And how do I improve it? Looking at that, like, you identify a risk and you prevent that from happening the next time. And all these things are basically data driven. Nothing is like, you don't imagine anything, you don't presume anything. It's all uh, uh, data driven. Like, things have happened in the past. It need not have happened only in your organization. Maybe it could be a mobile manufacturing industry. A different organization experienced this kind of an incident, and nothing prevents you from adopting those measures to prevent the same incident being happening in your organization. So this could be, when I say this, data coming from other sources, not exactly, the data could not be in your own health and safety system and cloud application. It could be coming from an external source as well. I mean, when I say it could, you could load the data from a spreadsheet into your system. For example, like, I would want, if I have to analyze, like, there has been a spate of accidents that has been happening in a particular city. I would want to understand if the weather condition of the city is causing that. So how do I do that? Like, you mash it up, you get the data from an external source, the weather information, what was the weather, what was the temperature like at the time of incident, and you kind of deal with those kind of incidents, and you prevent that, you prevent those incidents happening again. And any health and safety incident, be it big, small, medium, is always there is an element of risk, there is an element of cost involved, and a lot of inconvenience to organization as well as to individuals, that is employees. So with this analytics, you can understand, like, where did this happen, why did this happen, and you could prevent those incidents happening, which could help you in saving a lot of money. It could help you in saving your own employees. I mean, it could keep them in their help in their well-being. And so these are some of the points that you could analyze or through these health and safety analytics. And it is not just restricted to this. The power of FAW, or the power of Fusion Analytics, uh, helps you mash up data from other sources as well. For example, uh, you could understand, like, what percentage of your employees that have had an incident or a safety incident in the organization have followed the due process. Like, have they before working on a instrument or an equipment or a manufacturing unit, have they gone through the manuals, have they been trained on those? So these kind of things, you could get the data from our learning system, which you could apply here as well. So this gives additional power to health and safety analytics. So with this, I'm gonna turn over to a sample demo, or maybe I'll try and answer a few business questions that you could answer with the subject area currently. The top of the line, like, some of this is only a sample that we have listed here. So it could be like, what are the types of incidents that's happening, and what are the causes, severity of these incidents. An incident happened, it could be, as I said, it could be big, medium, small. When I say that, the severity could be like, hazardous, catastrophic, or it could be medium in severity, those things. And once this incident happened, was there an evacuation plan? Because of an evacuation plan, how many hours of production we lost? Okay, so these are some of the things that you could answer. And not just that, like, you could go beyond that. So I'm gonna turn over to the actual demo. I have this sample DB built exclusively for this demo, but there are also a bunch of other visualizations we have. There is an out-of-the-box DB that we are planning to build in the next release. So this is one such demo that I have. So these are the number of incidents that has happened and how many of them are overdue in the sense that are still not resolved. And for all the ones that are resolved, how much time it took to resolve in days. And so these are various events that have happened in the organization. It could be an injury or a near miss incident or a property damage, etc. And this is what I was mentioning about the severity, if you want to see how many of them were minor, major, hazardous, etc. And this is the one that, again, like I was talking about the evacuation. Because of evacuation, how much time did we lose? So in this case, we have lost 500 because of the complete area got shut down. It we lost 520 hours of productivity. And this is the trend of incidents that's been happening month on month. And this is helpful in cases where you need to report for regulatory purposes, when you have to report to specific agencies, how many of them have been reported to various agencies. And just on this, it's as I said, it's not just restricted to this. I just want to show you how easy it is for you to kind of analyze the data or slice the data by various other dimensions that we have. If you want to look at the data by, say, for example, these incidents are happening for people in what length of service band, like how many years of service they put in, for example, right? So if I just do this, it's as simple as I just put it here. I put a filter on just to ensure that I get everybody. Okay, so here, it looks like the maximum incidents are happening for people that have put in more than 21 years of experience. All right. So this was one such example. Maybe if you want to look at by, which city or which country I'm having this, if I'm operating in multiple countries, maybe I look at by city. So this again can give me incidents happening by various cities. Okay. So this is just a sample, we have, a lot more slicing and dicing is possible with this data that we have, and also rich set of metrics that we have built out of the box. This was a sample TV, as I mentioned, and there is also an out of the box DV that we have, which will be.
We're just running over here. Is any of this available to share publicly that we can send out?
Sure, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, that would be great. Sorry to cut you off there.
I understand. Thank you. So yeah, this was the TV, and one last thing that I want to mention here is if you want to understand more about health and safety analytics, please feel free to email Gunvansh or myself. Thank you. Over to you, Alex.
Thanks for sharing that demo. I know there's some really cool features and that will be very helpful to a lot of users. I popped up a poll just to end us here, and we have a couple questions if you want to stay and go through those with us. If not, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. The replay is going to be posted on the analytics YouTube page, as well as the community website. Give me about a week to get that posted. On the community website, the PowerPoint's also going to be posted in a PDF format. And let's take a look. I'll leave the poll up for one more minute. Let's take a look at some of the questions here. Yeah, can we shift the call an hour or two earlier for India? We can definitely take a look at that. I think the issue is a lot of our team is on the US West Coast, so that puts it a little earlier for them. So we'll have to discuss with them to see if they're okay with that, if everyone's available. We have another one. Will we be able to launch DB email reports via an API similar to how we can launch BI agents in Delivers?
That would be for Gabriel, maybe. Gabriel, will you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure the status of that, but I can definitely follow up with someone internally and get back.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, does OAC Group provide environment prod for customers, partners to have hands-on experience with exploring the new features with every release?
I think we have one. It will be good. I'm not sure. Yeah, that it's Raj Nagaraj. So if you want, you can send an email to Alex. I think Alex put her email in the chat, and I will take it with Diwakar. Diwakar is in charge of partner, and I think we definitely have an environment for partner. Now for customers, we have OA Public, which is managed by Pete Montero. And we can also put the URL in the chat. I will try to get that for you now. So for customer, we have that, but it's read-only. It's not really an environment where you can test all the features. For that, they can go directly to Oracle Cloud. You have always free credit for that, and they can test directly everything.
Yep, and I put the OAC public link in the email that will be sent out tomorrow. Just make sure you look for an email from Zoom. It's just a follow-up email that gets sent out. Next one, when will we export to Excel? Data visualization be available in OAS?
So I think that's coming, yeah, that it's going to be available in the version OAS 2024 under Safe Harbor. Jacques, do you know more about that? Or maybe I need to ask for Alan?
I think Alan would give you a better or a more definitive answer, but I think you got it right.
Okay. Yeah, it's under Safe Harbor, so I think we will have it, but again, we have to confirm. Next one, Alex.
Translations, will they be available for OAS 2024?
That one, Luis or Genvash or Jacques, do you know on that one? I know internally we are doing some testing right now, but I'm not sure if it will be included in OAS.
Yeah, that's probably going to be close. Yeah, Avinash would know best. Unless Jacques knows.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask him now, and we can continue.
Okay, do you think it would ever be possible for data sets to be stored in folders?
Yes. Where is that? Do you think it will be possible for dataset to be stored in folders? Oh, that, no, I don't know. I know we are going to unify a catalog, but that will be a question for Luis. Luis, do you know?
I think it's being evaluated right now. That's all I can say.
So if the use case is there a way I could easily organize my data sets into groups? That's a different question than if they can be stored in an actual folder.
Yeah.
Forthcoming as part of a homepage project coming in this year at some point, you will be able to create groups of artifacts or groups of things like data sets and workbooks and combinations of those things. So you will be able to create, useful groups of things like data sets that you could organize in a way that you can easily find them. But physically, it's actually not, it's just a reference to a group of objects. It's not an actual physical folder, so.
Next question, sharing chat through email. I think you're probably asking about the links and everything we shared. So yeah, that is going to be sent out tomorrow. Lots of links there for you to go through. Is there any event in the months after the summer?
Open world.
Yeah.
Cloud World.
That will definitely Oracle's biggest event. That will be this year. Was it in September in Las Vegas, Nevada? So assuming that, I think it's either going to be in September again or early October. Have to look at the actual date. Okay, I understand there's a preview function in OAC to share workbook via email. Is there something similar for FAW?
That will be for Gunvash or for Raga.
What was the question? Sorry.
Is there a preview function There's a preview function in OAC to share workbook via email. Is there something similar in Fusion Analytics?
I need to check that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, neither am I. Probably best to check with Avinash on this one, I think.
All right, next question. What are the plans for extending usage tracking to allow more details, as which canvas contains what visualizations?
As far as I know, there aren't any plans to expand usage tracking, but it would be interesting just to hear a little bit more about the use case. Maybe we could take that offline.
Or they can post it on the Idea Lab as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I put the link for the Idea Lab in the chat. You can find it on the community website. So the roadmap for OAC mobile of this year, do we have any update there?
Jacques? Jacques, do you have any maybe roadmap for OAC mobile?
Sorry about that. The mobile app right now, I mean, we continue to try to support more and more native chart types. The immediate sort of releases in the next, we now release every 2 weeks, which is a big deal. So that's why when a roadmap is sort of progressive every 2 weeks, you should see some improvements, some performance. My favorite feature coming forward is just to streamline the whole login process and sharing URLs. So you'll be able to share a URL to somebody, let's say in Slack, and they're on their phone, they'll be able to click it. It'll open the app to that workbook. I know that sounds mundane, but it's actually a really technically difficult thing to achieve cross-platform, cross-OS, all those things, and still be secure. That's my favorite feature coming up. The watch list widget is also coming, which is super exciting. Well, super exciting. I think it's kind of a killer feature where your watch list from your homepage, you'll be able to pin directly on your home screen on your phone. So you don't even have to open, right? You don't even have to open the app. Every time you look at your home screen, you'll see, you know, your little latest favorite key metrics shown up with conditional formatting. So they could change from red, yellow to green, depending on what's going on in the data. So that's some of my favorite things. And we have some broader generative AI things coming down the road, but it's too soon for me to talk about those things. But I'll tease you with that just because I can.
Sorry, just to jump back, I'm not sure if the user's still on, but Dan had an answer about environment for partners or customers. From the partner side, it does look like there is a page. Dan, I don't know if you want
Yeah,
to.
I can speak to that. You know, just I didn't want to overstep my bounds, but I'm a partner. And I find that looking at new features, I'm always on the partner development portal. And that's how I get to know the new features. It's great, run by DeWalker's group. And I'm on there looking out at the latest new features that Jacques, Luis, you guys add. And that's how I learn about the features. And that and the video that is put out on the YouTube channel that Oracle Analytics puts out, that is the short little demos they put out. That's how I learned about all the new stuff, and it's great. But yeah, if you want to try it out as a partner, there's a login available. You just need to reach out to the partner community for Oracle Analytics, and they'll get you all set up.
Yeah, the videos and the what's new sort of in the sort of, if you click on your icon in the top right, you look at the about, you should be able to see the what's new. And generally, each item in the what's new has a corresponding video in the Oracle Analytics channel on YouTube. And, you know, we spend a lot of time putting those videos together into nice little 2-minute bites. So I think that's kind of how I learn about all other software too. So that's probably the best.
And you have also Jacques on TikTok that you can follow.
That's me, TikTok.
All right, we'll have to check that out. Thanks Thanks, Dan, for giving us that information. The link to, Dan, I don't know if you want to post the partner
Yeah, I'll
link.
post the link. You can take a look. I'll post that in the chat.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dan.
Yep.
Okay, we have a couple more. Let's see if we can answer these real quick. Is there any feature to encrypt external web service embedded into OAC through safe domain? Anyone know that question? Or the
I
answers to the
think
question?
I don't know
no.
that.
I think it is, but I think we had the question in the last OA Live. I think we have something like that, but I will have to confirm. But I think it's the case.
Yeah, I'm not sure who posts. It says anonymous. My email will get sent out with the Zoom follow-up if you want to just shoot me an email. So we can get back to you and give you the answer. Okay, last question. When can we expect the availability of the auto start/stop schedule feature for OAC similar to what is already offered for ADW?
Not
Good question.
issues or domain things.
Yeah, that one is tricky. That one we will follow up also. I'm not even sure if it's. Yeah, we will have to follow up on that one also. I think it was the last one, the most difficult one.
All right, so we will follow up with those questions. Again, the video will be posted. Give me a couple days to get it out there. If you want to watch the replay, see the PowerPoint that we discussed, feel free to shoot any of us emails if you have follow-up questions. Thank you all for attending our first OA Live of January, and have a happy new year. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.